I feel like we should go around the table, everyone, a minute.
You gotta get the challenge.
What they just loved about it.
Just what you love?
How about your thoughts and opinions on it? So that way everyone can be heard, and then we'll just go ham and discuss afterwards. Do you want me to start?
You're gonna give topics, though?
Yeah, we'll give topics and all that.
Dope.
Honestly, one of my new favorite Star Wars movie. This, I loved pretty much every bit of it, but not all of it. Like, there were some parts where I was like, all right, well, that was kind of a cheesy way to do it. For instance, when they're like, you are Palpatine's granddaughter. Like, that was kind of bad acting in my opinion. But, like, the scene at the very end when it's like, what do they say? Like, you're not alone. Like, we're all here. And, like, you just turned around, and there was just the entire fleet of just everyone. I literally had goosebumps all up my arm. I was like, this is amazing. I love starship combat. That's what happens when you send 1,000 fighters in to, like, kill, like, 7 dreadnoughts in TI-4 discussions. But that's for another day.
No, you still got, like, 30 seconds, buddy.
But, I mean, still. Anyways, I'll leave it at that because, like, I want to hear everyone else's. But go ahead. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll start the timer.
Oh my gosh.
Alright, not gonna lie. Now my new favorite movie of all time.
Wow.
Yeah, like that beat any big thing I've ever watched in my life is the culmination of beautifulness. So, my thing. I do have one dysfunction for it. One, like, negative. When they used the Knights of Ren, they didn't use them well. I wanted to see them actually go in and attack things and, like, do awesome things. That's my only complaint. Other than that, good movie. I think my all-time favorite part, though, the best part, is at the end when Rey is looking up in the sky and sees the 2 sunset. That will be in my head for the longest time. I'm done. 9 seconds.
Definitely favorite Star Wars movie now that they made. I went into it with, like, middle ground, semi-low expectations. Blew me away. The first 20 minutes or so, I would say, like, it felt a little rushed, but it just kind of needed to establish what was going to happen for the rest of the movie. So, like, I was worried right off the bat. Blew away my expectations, though. I would say that just the movie overall did a great job of, like, tying things in from the past 8 movies. Like, they did a great job of just tying everything together and putting a little bow on it. If this is the last Star Wars movie they ever make, then they did it well. Tied it all in.
Okay, so I'm the oldest guy at the table. So I've been around for the entire trilogy. I too felt it was rushed. Not just the first 20 minutes. Kind of the whole thing was rushed, but it was done. It was done very well. I don't know if all theaters are going to show the same trailers, but I thought there were way too many trailers to begin because I was ready. I was ready for the screen to say, you know, and I guess I got to be honest with you, I was a little emotional when it just popped up in a galaxy far, far away. Oh, yeah, the heart kind of, yeah, and then the music. I mean, it had me at the music. So before even anything, I loved it.
Were you one of them that, like, whenever the first one came out, were you there, like, at the very beginning?
I was not at the first one.
Okay.
Because the first one I was only 4. But I was at all the others.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Nice.
Solid.
So.
I
don't have a lot to say, like, always. I will say I'm kind of disappointed that she didn't, like, she did kind of, but didn't, like, fight with 2 lightsabers, or even with a dual wield, because, like, they led us on so much with the staff that she had, you know?
Yeah.
Like, she would have been perfect for a double-edged, you know, lightsaber, whatever.
Or if the 2
blade.
lightsabers would have melded together.
I thought that's what was going to happen.
Yeah.
I love what?
Said it's Carson's time.
Sorry.
Oh, no, it's fine. The hilt at the end of her blade, I love the way that she turned it on. It was like a gear at the top, and she flicked it. I've, like, that I've always been obsessed with like lightsaber and like hilts and their mechanisms and stuff like that. And that's probably my favorite lightsaber. Period.
The yellow, or
Not just the color, but like the hilt itself, the
Yeah.
way But
she goes.
that was so dope. Like bro.
All right, I love it. So now I'm just gonna throw stuff out there, and we're just gonna take it from there. I'm gonna start at the very beginning in the opening credits, when it said, "The dead." What did it say? The dead speak.
Yeah.
At first I was like, "Oh no,
This
this is gonna be cringy." This is kind of dumb. Like the infamous Emperor Palpatine is back from the dead. Blah
Yeah.
blah blah.
That
I was
seemed
like,
very cheesy. At
that
first. I was
seems
worried.
very cheesy, and I was very worried. And then that opening scene where Kylo Ren's just taking it.
That was
one of the best scenes of Star Wars.
Yeah.
That
One
was
of the best
that
scenes of
is-
Star Wars.
insane.
Yeah, they were like, all right, here's your background. Here's the great movie. And it just
Yeah.
immediately.
Darth Vader scene, Rogue One, that scene.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Yeah.
Fair.
Hands down. That scene was incredible. That incredible.
And then whenever like he's like, we have all the dreadnoughts, and then they just all.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
I looked at
Yeah.
Matthew, we were like,
I was like, we're screwed. Like,
oh, we're done.
Yeah.
oh my gosh, it was.
That was a great way for them to early on just be like, listen, this isn't just your typical, like, here's your Sith enemy. It was like, the universe is at stake
Yeah.
with this
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, and at first it was like, it's not just like we have another Death Star that they're all
Exactly.
gonna blow up. It was like, no, we have all these ships
That have
and
Death
then-
Star capabilities.
and they have Death Star capabilities. It's like, let's go blow up a planet that they all love, and they did it. It's like every single one of those could do that.
Yeah.
The comedic in the beginning wasn't there, like in some of the previous
Right.
ones.
It came in when it needed,
When it needed
to
yeah,
light
it,
up.
it
Yeah.
didn't,
I agree.
It didn't,
Yeah. Oh,
That itty bitty dude.
Oh,
Probably
yeah.
so
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
he was cool.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I forgot his name.
It was like Bodo, something
Something
like
like that. Yeah.
so good.
Man.
I
I felt like the mind dump was way rushed. Of the one scene or one plot line that I felt went way too fast was C-3PO.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, that totally. Yeah, I
wish.
I wanted more, and the weird thing was, I thought that as it was happening, it wasn't
Right.
an afterthought. It was like, oh. But then again, I'm a C-3PO guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And honestly-
it was like 3PO had more lines in this movie. I feel like than he did ever.
Yeah.
Like, it was
Yeah.
almost
Yeah.
like it was like weirdly noticeable that he was just constantly talking everywhere
Yeah.
they went.
and
They
I
kind of
that
foreshadowed
low-key,
it by doing
Yeah.
that.
they made me think whenever they were gonna release it, or whenever they were gonna mind wipe him, that what you said was true. Like C-3PO's got to go,
Mhm.
and I was like, this is how he's going.
Yeah.
He's
I
not,
thought they were
yeah.
going to
he's
leave him
not
there.
going.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
thought they were going to leave him
He's
there.
not leaving, but
Yeah.
he, his mind's going.
yeah.
And like, I think honestly, if they didn't have rushed it, I would have liked it better that way.
Yeah.
But because they rushed it, I like the fact that R2 had a backup.
I honestly wish that they would his like send off right there with his like full memory was I'm taking one last look at my memory wipe. I think that would have
Yeah,
been
good, yeah.
that would have hit the whole audience. Like that gives me goosebumps just
Yeah.
saying that. Like
Yeah.
that would have been
There was definitely more they could have done there.
yeah.
And then it was weird when like he read it and he was just like, "Oh, but I can't tell you." And I was like, "Man, that's such a weird problem
Yeah.
to give the characters right
It,
now."
it would have
Yeah.
been nice.
It makes sense though. Like it
Yeah.
makes sense.
It would have been nice when he was talking about it. If he said, "Okay, but if you wipe my memory, and then go back and list some things from all the movies that he's been a part of
that
to
was
tie
also a missed
together,"
opportunity.
that would have been cool.
That would have been a dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because that's the second time his memory's been wiped.
You
Yeah.
see, but then again,
At the end of the prequels, they
who
wiped
is
it.
gonna tell him that? I mean, R2 probably, maybe, but like at the same time, who was
alive?
who was alive in this movie that could sit there and tell him, "Oh, so you were here, and then you went here, and then this happened, and then you did this, and then you did
Chewbacca
this."
only knows so much.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Chewbacca
Yeah.
only
Man.
from what,
3.
4, or no,
Three.
they made them 3. I don't know if he did manage.
No, they
No.
didn't mean it.
Yeah,
It was
so
4. It was
yeah.
4.
It was 4.
Shout out to Chewie, who literally lost all of his friends.
Okay,
Yeah.
Mhm.
okay. The scene
Wow.
where he
Well, he
is
has Lando.
overcome with emotion.
Oh my gosh!
He has Lando.
I cried more when.
But
And
Chewie.
that wasn't like the
well,
focus
Han's
of
been
the
gone.
scene. but
Leia's
that's what
gone
my
now.
eyes
Yeah.
were
Luke's
on
gone.
when he is on the
Every
ground.
like
weeping.
his people are gone.
I like the hardest I cried in that whole movie was when Poe was talking to Leia. I was like,
Oh
he
yeah,
did
that's-
he
yeah,
did so
yeah.
good acting.
I
that.
feel
Oscar
that.
Isaac
I
was
feel
like,
that.
dude,
When he was
like,
like,
that was
Oscar Isaac
emotional
was
after
for
Yeah.
me.
she had made him general,
Yeah.
and he was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I was like,
Yeah.
I've been there, bro.
I was like, that's the most
been
I've ever
there.
cried.
You're just like, I don't know how I'm supposed to do
Because
this.
the reason why they picked up, like, especially if you lost like a close relative, and like if you're like you're there, like if
Yeah.
you're there when it happens, like when my grandpa passed away, they like saved his body before they cremated him so I could talk to him
Yeah,
or see him, and that's exactly what I said. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what's gonna happen.
exactly.
And I was like,
That was well done.
wow.
it would have been nice. I was thinking of a line, something to the effect of, you know, he says, "I'm not ready." Like, that means you are ready.
Yeah.
If you think you are, you're not ready.
Yeah.
If he would have like done like a as he was talking, he
Yeah.
like hears her voice in the back
Yeah.
of his head.
Mm.
That means you are ready. That would have
Yeah,
been.
yeah.
That's
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
that
That
gets
would've
into
been
what I
nice.
was thinking about talking about next. Is like, what do we think about this whole Finn could feel the force
Yeah.
somewhat?
Yeah.
I'm okay with
Because
Finn being force sensitive.
I
He's the
like
only
it.
one. It's not like they
Yeah.
did everyone.
That's what I was thinking though. Is like, that's why I guess Finn maybe didn't hear
Well,
Leia, is because he
is
wasn't
he?
sensitive like
Is
that.
he? Because in talking with the other, he said, well, "I thought I was by myself." Like, no, there was a whole slew of us that. Well, I don't
Yeah.
know what the word is. Oh yeah, feeling.
Yeah.
I honestly think he is, and
You think
that's
it's a force thing?
yeah, I think it is, and that's going to segue me into this. I think that yes, they say this is over. It's not over.
Mm.
I don't think it's going to be over. I think there's more. They're at least going to make not maybe continuation of the trilogy,
Mhm.
but maybe like how they did Solo and how they did Rogue One.
Yeah.
I think they may make branch off stories because
Mhm.
I could really see those two like her training Finn, and I think that would be a dope movie
Yeah.
to watch. Like I think Finn could end up
Well, now we
controlling the
have
Force.
all those people that were like all those defects from like the stormtrooper
Mhm.
people. So like the people they met
Mhm.
on that planet. Finn. We have the kid from Episode 8 that could use the Force.
What if
For
all
some
of them
random
are like
reason.
Yeah,
that?
like what if there's just plenty of people out there who are still Force sensitive, and now
Maybe
Rey
Rey's
gets to
going
train
to
them all.
start the Jedi Academy all
Jedis,
over.
yeah.
Well, like when you think about it, there were so many Jedi's
She
in
buried
the prequels.
the lightsaber.
That.
So
Do you think that was symbolic or like just?
But then
because
she
it was
created her
theirs?
own. Why would she
Exactly.
do that?
That's what I was thinking. Like, I don't
I-
think
I
she's
get what
ending
you're
the
saying,
Jedi
though.
Order, but
Here, so like, okay, this is random, kind of random, but not really random, right? If you think about it, like in the prequels, there were so many Jedi, and like all those people were Force sensitive, right?
yeah,
And then like all Order 66, you know, all the Jedi, boom, gone. So like, there's so much Force sensitive like ness that just went out there, and maybe just like random people picked it up now, and so just a bunch of random people have it, and so like in order to like
true
amass all the like I don't know the words I'm saying, but like
balance.
there it just needs to go out into more people, and so that's why more random people can have it, is because literally there's only like 5 people in the galaxy with Force.
Okay, so this is kind of going off of that. Kind of. So, y'all, I've talked to Johnny about this. I don't know if I've talked to you. I know I haven't talked to you about this, but I think I've talked to y'all about this. Palpatine, right? Anakin doesn't have a dad. So there's the theory that Palpatine created.
They made it canon
Anakin.
in the comics.
They did make
that
it
actually
canon.
is a thing.
Okay, so by that logic, Palpatine is in a way Anakin's dad.
Yeah.
Anakin
Correct.
is Kylo's grandfather.
yeah,
Rey is Palpatine's granddaughter. They're related.
Yeah.
More incest. I love the theme.
well,
I
okay.
I did not share that relationship. I did not.
Yeah.
share
no, I don't.
Kylo
I, don't,
Ren.
It was
I loved
very-
it. I didn't either.
I loved it.
Like
Mm-mm.
Here's what I would
It was.
say. Okay,
It felt forced to me.
if
Yeah.
you're a Skywalker or a Palpatine, you're an incredible fighter, but you
Absolutely.
stink at relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
that's
There's
fair.
not a single
That's fair.
relationship that.
I mean,
Survive.
Han Solo, Leia.
Yeah,
But see how
they
that
had
ended?
yeah, but they had problems though.
Yeah.
You know.
Honestly, the reason why I support that relationship that they created, it's not like they just threw it out of nowhere. They built it. Like they built it in 1. They expounded on a lot in 2, more than they even did in
I
this one, and it just came true. And I
didn't
saw
see
it
it.
coming.
I was thinking literally the whole time. I never thought it was romantic. I thought it was like a blood thing. Like I thought maybe they're gonna be brother and sister, or maybe it was
That's
just
what I
because-
wanted. That's honestly what I wanted.
Because he said like,
but-
and they said it in this movie, they were a dyad in the Force or whatever. I thought that was also what it was. I was like, the Force knows like, good guy, bad guy, and they have this connection. Like
Yeah.
I didn't think it was romantic at all. And then in this movie, it was just like, all right, now that you're both good guys, you're gonna kiss now because one of you's a guy and one of you's a girl. And I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah, I agree with that. And like also, I think it would have been better if like Kylo just like saved her, and then they just like looked at each other and had a moment,
Yeah, like a.
and then he just goes away.
Yeah,
Like
the
that would have
kiss
been
was
better than the
just-
kiss.
I don't want to say like it was weird.
There's
or,
other
like,
ways
it
to
was
show
just-
love.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, I'm not a big like killing the heroes movies. Like I don't normally like that. Like I got mad at the end of Rogue One. Rogue One's still like my top 3 movies, but like Star Wars movies. But I honestly, I feel like they could have at that moment, if they would have done it like that, they both have been looking at each other and they both dissipated. And I think the movie would have been so good like that.
Like I
It would
like
have so
that
much
Rey-
weight and everything, and it would be a happy ending. They don't need her anymore.
Yeah.
Like she's served her
Like
purpose.
that's what I was thinking honestly. Like I like that Rey came back. I think it's like cool and I'm solid with it. But when they were both lying there, I did expect it to just like pan away and that was gonna be it. And I was like, well, she did her part. There's balance now. No more good guy, no more bad guy.
So is there balance now?
Because now
I
there's
think
like,
she's
too
the
much-
balance.
That's
Why
See,
I've been
I
saying
agree.
gold lightsaber. It came true. Balance.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
you did
think he's
call it.
right.
It's balance, man. She is the Grey Jedi.
Like, honestly,
I was
I
gonna
see it, yeah.
disagree. I was gonna disagree, but like she used Force lightning, and then also what I was thinking was like when she was fighting Kylo on the ship. If you notice, she was fighting like normal, and then she flipped her lightsaber the way that he was doing, and was fighting with like
Sith.
dark, with like Sith
And
style.
she was able to use compassion and anger as one.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
something
'Cause
Anakin couldn't
I-
do.
and that's
She's
what
No
got
one
me
has
she
been
to
able to
started
do
that
before.
through like I saw that in movie 8. Like I was like,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
times where I'm like, wait a second,
Yeah.
she's fighting with anger right now. Like you
Yeah.
can see like
Yep.
she like
Oh,
with
yeah.
hatred, and,
And
then
that's
when
what he said at
Palpatine's
the
like,
end.
kill me with your
He's
hatred
like, I
and your
know you
anger.
want to do it.
Is like, and he was like, and she's like, no, I'm not gonna. She's like, that's what
Bro.
you want. No, and then he was like, I'm gonna make you hate me even more. Boom! Look at all your friends
Yeah.
dying.
Yeah.
Look at everything.
I thought
Hate
she was
me.
gonna
You
do
know
it.
that? Like
I
that.
thought she was.
That
That
scene
was even though that was the climax. That's probably gonna be everybody's favorite scene. I'll say it as my favorite scene when she like took the
Yeah,
lightsaber.
yeah.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was so
Oh,
dope.
yeah.
Gosh.
Oh yeah.
Still last
Because I'll
scene's
be
my
honest,
favorite.
like
because
maybe
I've been
this is just
waiting
me
for
being
it.
dumb, but like I didn't see it coming literally until she did this. Like in my mind, I was like, how are they gonna get out of this? I was like, what's gonna happen? Is she gonna do it? And then as soon as she was like, put it behind her head, I was like, oh wait a minute.
And then I
Kylo
reminded
went
you that
off,
she had 2
bro.
lightsabers.
Kylo-
Yeah, I
Oh.
forgot she even had 2 lightsabers, so I was
Yeah.
like, what is she gonna do now? I was like, this is awkward.
Yeah.
So wait a second.
But bro, that was
What
so
happened to
cool.
Obi-Wan's
That
That's
was
what I'm
lightsaber?
so
saying.
cool.
Yeah.
Wait, here's my question about the first one. Right, in 8 when they were fighting with Snoke, whose lightsaber broke?
Obi-Wan's, I guess.
When they were fighting,
It
Or-
must have been.
Snoke just died. They had that battle. They just killed all the Red Guards, and now they're standing there and they're both.
It was
lightsaber
whatever
broke?
lightsaber was that she pulled out of the thing with the orange
It was
chick.
Obi-Wan's.
That's Obi-Wan's?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how she
That
saw
was
Luke.
No, I thought that was Luke's.
No,
No.
Luke
I think
had
they did
his.
say that was
No,
Obi-Wan's.
Luke went to go return it at the end of
Well, the thing is, though,
7.
Luke had like 30, so
Yeah.
it's unclear.
True, we had
I'm
the
going
blue
back and
green.
rewatching.
Maybe it was Luke's and that was
I can't
Obi-Wan's and Leia's.
I think it was Luke's, and it was just Obi-Wan's voice that called to her. So that was one of Luke's that broke. But since he trained all those Jedi, he probably had more than one. And like he
I
said,
don't know.
he had agreement.
But I'm
with
pretty
him.
sure she said like the alien lady. What's her name? Maz.
Maz Kanata.
Maz. I'm pretty sure she said like I've been keeping that for Luke for a long time. So
I think you're right.
I
It's
think
Luke's.
it's Luke's saber. So Luke's saber broke.
Mhm.
So then she had Leia's saber in that fight, and then that other saber.
I think
Maybe
it was
Luke
also
had
Luke's.
Obi-Wan's.
I think
Mhm.
Obi-Wan's honestly just blew up with the Death Star.
I mean, yeah,
They took it.
that's true.
Who took it?
Luke took it.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, well then maybe that's what it
And
is.
no, when Obi-Wan died, no, his robe fell,
And
so did
Luke
Saber.
saw it, and so did his saber,
Yeah.
and they went away. They ran away.
They had to get on the Millennium Falcon and leave.
Yeah,
Va-
like Luke
Vader
saw it
was
from
the
a
only-
distance.
Vader was the only one
Vader
there
was
whenever
standing
it,
over it, yeah.
Who's the...
That's an honest question.
Was it her lightsaber that he gave her? Was
Uh,
it her?
they
Did he
were-
give her a lightsaber at 8?
No, she already had it.
Yeah.
No, because when she came and gave him back his lightsaber, he goes.
Yeah.
That was the entire point of in the first movie going to get.
Oh,
Luke
it must have been the one that Leia gave her when Leia was training her. Because she didn't have one then anymore. Right? Because she didn't have a lightsaber anymore. After that one blew up.
Yeah.
At
so
the end
then
of
Leia, well, she had Leia's, but we're saying was the other one.
Leia gave the other one to her. Because Leia is a Jedi Master, apparently.
Well, I think honestly, like I was very confused on that until they were like, "Oh, in this time we're after 6 and before 7,
Also,
they
So
were
that's a
like
new-
Luke was slightly training
Yeah.
Leia.
So
I like the fact that they were just like, okay, yeah, this is the reason why she Supermaned back into the ship
Yeah.
was because she's trained.
So the more specific question would be, that's a good point. So the lightsaber
Didn't
broke
even
on the
think of
ship
that.
in 8,
Mhm.
and then beginning right off the bat she has one, and like you
Leia
said,
must have given it to her.
but where did Leia get it?
She had it.
She
I
just
don't know.
she was just chilling with another lightsaber.
I guess.
I don't know, but like
It'd make no sense
another thing is
otherwise.
though, the lightsaber. That's false because when Rey went back to the Jedi Temple planet,
Mhm.
she was gonna throw the lightsaber and Luke caught it. Luke's ghost
Yeah,
caught it.
That was Leia's lightsaber.
That was the one that Leia must have given her at the beginning. That's what we're saying right now.
Okay,
So
I
Leia's
mean-
lightsaber is the one that he took the brick out and was like, "Hey, this is."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we're saying,
The-
then where did she get the other one at the beginning of 9 then? Because at the
Yeah.
end of 8, it broke.
I don't.
But
Guess
the
we'll just have to go
beginning
see it
of-
again.
So
So
I gotta
the thing is,
double check this
maybe
here.
Leia just had another lightsaber just already on her.
So where she put it in the sand.
this is the lightsaber, right? That she got.
Yeah.
That's Anakin's lightsaber.
That's what it is.
No, but
It's gotta be
Anakin's
what it
lightsaber became
Obi-Wan grabbed it.
Yeah, and gave it to Luke.
Oh, then
in
gave it
six-
to Luke, yeah.
in 4
Correct.
And then that was the same one that she had that broke.
that broke in
yeah,
8.
in Snoke.
So there's still
at the end of
like
the day,
we're calling this lightsaber X right now. We don't know the
One-
origin of lightsaber X.
yeah.
But other than that, I mean, okay. So I like that discussion. I want to talk about something that you're very passionate about. Knights of Ren.
Knights of Ren, they created. That's the only disappointment I have. Like, if I could say anything about the movie, except the fact that it was rushed, because I agree it was rushed.
Yeah.
They just built up this bad A group of guys.
Mhm.
Like, they teased them throughout the
True,
whole movie.
true.
They didn't do
Yeah.
anything to the whole movie until they fought Kylo. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I was hoping that first scene with Kylo was him and the Knights of Ren, not him and Stormtroopers.
Yeah.
Imagine how much doper that already dope scene would have been.
Mm-hmm.
I think all those guys, though, however, to talk about their origin, because it's never been discussed, it hasn't been, like, confirmed in the movies. I think when Kylo left Luke, he took people with him.
Yeah,
And
he
that's
said
them.
that.
He
Yeah.
said that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Luke said that. He said
He killed
took
some.
Yeah, he said he took a
That-
few of my students with me. Slaughtered
Then why
the
didn't
rest.
they have lightsabers?
Yeah,
That's another
that's
thing
what
I
I
was
was thinking too.
Because I was hoping they all had. Just,
Literally, that
they
would've
were all
been
gonna
freaking
ball.
dope.
Yeah, that would have been so dope. And I was thinking like he could literally just lightsaber through their weapons.
Yeah. Unless they're like Mandalore.
That's
Or unless they're like the
Mandalorian.
ones that the guards had that were guarding Snoke.
Yeah, but they didn't have electricity on it. Like that one was like essentially just a
Yeah.
giant cleaver. There was no
And a
like
giant
That's
axe.
the thing. It was like they tried to make them like so
So-
bad A,
and then
but then they
they
had like
weren't.
stone clubs. Like
yeah.
They would have been like they missed an opportunity. They literally
Yeah.
because everyone's been speculating about that group of people ever
Yeah.
since they were introduced in the first.
And it was
movie.
almost like they were like, okay, people have
And-
been speculating about this. Let's put them in to make them happy, but they didn't expand on it.
Wait a second. In the first movie, when it originally shows the flashback, or was that first or second? When
what flashback?
they showed Luke going to kill him,
Second.
Second movie. That's
it
8.
was the second movie.
Yeah.
Didn't they showed Kylo standing in the rain with the Knights of Ren, and they all had lightsabers?
I don't remember that. We just watched 8.
Yeah, we watched.
Or
it
was
recently.
it was in 7? Because I remember it happening. It's when Luke has his hand on R2
Yeah,
and he looks over and it's them.
It's in 8.
I don't remember that.
It's
Here,
in
I'll find
8.
it.
No, it's
You'll
in
know what
8
I mean.
because I know what you're talking about, but it's in 8 because I'm pretty sure it's Luke retelling Rey what
Yes,
happened.
that's what it is.
I don't
So-
remember that. I remember like so you're talking about whenever he like goes to kill Kylo but he doesn't.
Yeah.
And, like he stops him. I just remember him like pulling up from the fire and like everything's dead. It doesn't show that.
in the fire.
I could be wrong, but I just remember him like coming up out of the rubble and looking up. Everything's
Yeah.
destroyed. Kylo's already gone.
I
And
just
that's when he
They
said,
had there were different flashbacks
Exactly.
of it though.
Oh no, they didn't have lightsabers.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what it is. That's the thing I saw.
What is it?
Them in the rain.
I
That's
don't
from one
remember
of the
that at all,
movies. Yeah. That's what it is.
Gotcha.
What is it?
It was like I think it was like force premonition. I think that someone had. I
It
don't
was
know.
probably Rey. Rey had a lot of like
Yeah.
future and past connection things with the Force, especially in this movie too. Like she picked up the dagger and was like, "Bad things happen with this," and I was like, "All right, I'm down." So, that brings up something. So, like Force powers, right? One, what do we think about them introducing like Force healing literally the day before in Mandalorian, and then
I was
Oh,
thinking
yeah.
that too.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the only. Well, the thing is, that's the only way I feel they could have done it. Like I'm saying, like this late.
Yeah.
That's the only way they could have done it.
I think
and not just let her do it for the first time on that
Yeah.
worm.
Yeah,
Because like
she
people,
did-
she
I
was
know
already
for a
just-
fact.
yeah.
I know for a fact, people like us would have been like, "There's no way, that's bull crap."
I don't think so. I thought it was cool.
Well, here's the
I'd have been
thing.
like, she's healing the worm,
But
Jedi
here's
can
the
talk
thing.
to animals. That was my first
Here's the
thought,
thing.
honestly.
They were introducing so
avoid.
much of her powers that like just throwing stuff out there would have been like, oh, now they can just like throw objects to each other. Like,
Oh, that was
if they
dope.
were gonna, that was dope.
That was
if they
dope.
were gonna
They had
introduce
already
like,
teased
all
that
right,
in 8 though, and that's why I was
yeah,
hyped.
but like if they were
capitalized.
to introduce like, all right, here's 15 new force powers that Rey can do because she's
Yeah.
Rey, I would have been like, all right, like I get that she's more
That's fair.
powerful, but like. But and like don't get me
That's
wrong,
smart.
she's powerful, but like to slowly introduce her powers shows that she slowly progresses into powers because like she didn't at the beginning of the movie, she didn't complete her training course.
Yeah.
She didn't complete it, which is like
Throwback to Luke.
yeah, so
Force
That was
healing
dope.
leads me to Plagueis. Plagueis
Darth
could
Plagueis.
cure. Yeah, Darth Plagueis could cure himself. He could bring himself back to life. Which I think that movie said. I feel like that was his way of saying that was him. Like when he said
I
that in
never
the
said
cave.
that. I don't know.
But before we get to that, I think that Force healing is a Sith power. So that questions me with Baby Yoda.
I don't think it's
I just think because we've never seen any other Jedi ever do it. Kylo does it. Rey does it.
I would say
Darth Plagueis does it.
I
Well,
could say
that's
like
it.
defying death could be like. The
I mean, that's what he.
thought.
Kylo did
I
that.
think just healing a wound.
Kylo did that.
okay, I have a thought. The Mandalorian's supposed to take place after 9, right? After 8 and 9?
No.
No.
In between 6 and 7.
Yeah.
In between 6 and 7?
That's why they
Okay,
keep talking about
never
the
mind.
fall of the Empire.
Yep.
Gotcha,
Okay,
never mind.
but that last scene, is that at Krill's?
What? So,
Of what? The Mandalorian?
Yes.
Or?
Where she buries? Is that
No.
No, that's not
No, because
Tatooine.
that's Tatooine.
Yeah.
She went back to Luke's home.
that? Okay,
That's another thing, like talking about like
Yeah,
tying
Anakin's.
things in. I like going back to Luke's home. I also like there were a lot of like small nods to the like past movies, like when Lando and Chewie came in the Falcon, and we're like, "Woo!" That was
Yeah.
like clearly Episode 4 when he came in, and then also Luke pulling the ship up out of the water
Yeah.
is literally what he did on Dagobah. and I
No,
was
Yoda
like,
did that.
Bruh. Or Yoda did.
Yoda
Yes,
did
Yoda
that,
did.
but it's like he's now on Yoda's
Yeah.
level.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what I was thinking. Like
who-
that was
what
cool.
was the pilot that came back?
Yeah,
Oh,
you
that
was
was
Red
Red
Leader.
Yeah.
That was Red Leader.
Red Leader.
That was
Original Red Leader.
The
yeah.
original
Had
Red
the same
Leader was
actor
back.
and
Yeah,
That's
everything.
so cool. Oh, another when the guy said
was-
that guy, he's an actor who was the one who killed the spy, which first of all was cool by the way, but the guy who killed the spy and was like, we found the spy or whatever.
Right.
He said to Palpatine,
He worked
I will
for-
serve you as I did in the old wars.
Yeah, he
was
did.
he in the old movies?
I guess he did.
I don't remember
It
seeing
was
him.
General Hyde or something. Pride.
General Pride. We can go back
Yeah.
and rewatch 4, 5,
I
and
don't
6,
feel
but
like
like
I-
he
Maybe
might
they
have been
didn't
like
name it off.
The
He
thing
might have
is,
been
though,
like
maybe
a-
he wasn't General back
That
then.
guy is
Yeah.
like a decently popular actor. Isn't that the guy who played? He was like an Aquaman too. I feel like I would have recognized him, or people would have
Okay,
seen it.
I just had this thought, right? I feel like the first 40 minutes of the movie was when there was the cheesiness, and then everything after that was just awesome. For example, like whenever Hux goes, "I'm the spy," like that was so
Yeah.
cheesy to me. Like I called it like 10 minutes before he revealed himself like that.
Yeah.
I didn't call it until they walked into the room alone, and I was like, "This is so clearly about to happen."
Yeah.
I called it whenever
I-
they were sitting in there in the conference room, and he was just kind of like it it didn't pan, but it like shot between the guy sitting across from
I
him
knew it was one of
and-
them.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah,
asking
but
I knew it
but,
was Hux.
but I like what they said. It wasn't that. Oh yeah, now I'm Rebel Force. It wasn't anything about that.
Yeah.
It
It
was his.
I want
hatred.
Kylo Ren
Yeah.
to
Yes.
lose, and Kylo Ren did die, but he didn't. Well, I guess Kylo Ren died.
Kylo Ren died.
He won though. He won. He did. He just died.
Just kind of like
But
Darth Vader died.
I,
and Anakin.
I honestly.
Darth
this-
Vader was the one who lost, and Anakin was the one who died.
Yeah. I honestly disagree with the cheesiness. Because you said, like, especially with the whole, like, Palpatine is your grandfather. That's how Kylo has talked this entire franchise. When
Yeah.
he's wearing
Yeah.
that mask, he's overdramatic.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like, it's
I-
not cheesy
I
to me.
like-
That's just
I
how
like
he
the
is.
Kylo, like the Kylo part. I think the cheesiness for me was like when they landed and they were like, arguing, and I was like, this is almost too much. And she was like, you damaged both the sub thrusters, and he was like, you went out on your own again, but you, and it was like, I don't know, that argument for me was like kind of weird.
I don't know.
Like-
I don't think the first 40 minutes is what set it up. Like it didn't.
I agree.
I don't
but
think
I
you
think
can have
the
that movie
rushing,
without that.
I think the rushing of
But it
setting
was
it
like-
up took away some of like the.
Yeah, because
they were
like 15 minutes in, they were like, you need to go to this planet and find this dagger. Oh, you're finding the dagger now? And I was like, man, they're really trying to just get us where we need to be.
All right, Chewie's dead. Chewie's not dead. Like literally, like Chewie just died. No.
Yeah,
2
2
seconds
minutes
later.
Yeah.
2 seconds
That's
later.
what I was thinking. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't get to wonder because I was like, dude, he's dead. And like 2 seconds after I was like, look, I called it. I was like, I don't think I called
I
it.
knew he wasn't dead.
I feel like they could have saved that for like later. Like, it was kind of cool that she like they were showing us again Rey like growing in the Force so fast. Like she immediately was like, he's on that ship, which was like kind of cool.
Yeah.
But it would have been a lot cooler had they made it to the ship first and they were like trying to do other stuff, and then they just came across them. Like I'd been like, what?
And I saw you
That's true.
get frustrated because I was getting a little annoyed, not frustrated with it. But literally, it seemed like every single time they were in a different place, they were trying to go this way. Rey would stop and go,
Yeah. Rey,
I have to go this
Rey
way.
was like Raven
It's-
from That's So Raven. Just every
That's
2
so
seconds.
true.
They'd be like, all
Yeah.
right, let's go do this. I'm gonna go this way instead.
yeah.
Rey, what are you doing? And then like 5 minutes later, they'd all be like, okay, fine, we'll all agree to go this way.
Yeah.
But wait, there's something over there. And I
Yeah.
was like, homie,
Like a bad soap
Yeah.
opera.
A, like that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Before
but
commercial.
B, like,
Yeah.
Don't.
they hyped up their friendship so much, and it was weird to me that she kept having these intuitions and then not saying anything. They'd be like, Rey, where are you going? I'll be fine. You go ahead. And I was like, you're trying to tell me that they're like best friends now, and they're like so desperate to get back to each other, but like,
I just think that
I'm gonna go
they
my
were
own
being
way.
a dead horse. It was
Yeah.
okay the first time they did it. I thought it was actually like fitting.
Yeah.
Well, they're trying to say that yes, she's being pulled a different direction. I mean
That's what
they're trying to set up. It just
Yeah.
it might have fell a little flat
Yeah.
on the screen.
Yeah.
On another topic, because I think we're all kind of in agreement there. I think I told them this on the way. I think that movie contained the best lightsaber battle as well as the best
Which lightsaber?
starship
battle?
combat. Rey and Kylo on the broken Death Star. That was insane.
that was
That was
dope.
that was amazing.
That was pretty sick.
That was
Yeah.
that was at least, if not the best. There was no lightsaber battles in the original trilogy, which people complained about, except like this
Except,
Obi-Wan doing this,
yeah. Well,
and then the very end.
granted, the reason that is for though is because in the '70s when that thing was made, it was so hard to animate
Yeah.
one. So
I'd put it. I honestly said the prequel has a better lightsaber battle, so I'll take
Fair.
away what I said. Either between Yoda, I'd say I count this as the same one because they're going back and forth. Yoda, Palpatine, Anakin, Obi-Wan. Yeah, those two together, best lightsaber battle.
Honestly, for me, Anakin Obi-Wan is the best one because there's so much emotion put into that.
Mhm.
And two, I just think it's the best choreographed.
I just the amount of insanity that was happening with them fighting on that, like the water crashing everywhere.
That was
That,
so well
that
done.
that backflip she did over the wave was
yeah.
one of my
Okay.
favorite
And then
shots the entire
Yes,
movie.
and then like right after I was like, dude, how are they gonna do this? And he just started walking through. Like she
Yeah.
backflipped over it, and he just walked through it.
Yeah.
I was like,
That
that's
was pretty
so,
sick. I will
That's
say
great, like juxtaposition of
Yes.
characters.
because
Yeah.
Carson showed me like this 10-minute video explaining the battle in 8, and like because of that video, I have
Loose
like
force projection and
a loose force projection.
it's just not good.
But no, but here's the thing.
Just boring.
After watching that video and you understand like that raw emotion behind it, that one is my favorite lightsaber battle.
I mean, I still understand the raw emotion. It just was boring. It was boringly choreographed. Luke
I
literally
don't
just
think
did.
so.
Luke just
That's what
avatared his
Kylo
way
did.
through.
Yeah,
it.
that's what
this one.
Kylo did at the beginning of this one too, and then
Yeah.
finally,
But when
Luke-
Rey's anger came out, you can't tell me that there wasn't more emotion behind Rey's anger and Kylo trying to get her to join him.
well,
That
yeah,
was the most emotion that I've probably ever
that's
seen.
fair, but like
In that,
that's fair.
setting.
I'm just saying I like the one in 8 better because of the emotion that was in there. This one might have been more emotional, but that one and just like the epicness of where they were fighting, like
there's so much symbolism
Yeah.
in there. Like, I'll show y'all the video. We can pull it up later. But, like,
I just think like
It's
in
just-
terms of like choreography too, like the backflip, the
Yeah.
waves, how long it took. Like that battle also was just longer. Like there was more
Yeah.
content
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
there.
that's true.
And then Well, you go ahead. You go ahead.
So like, I would rank my favorite battles as the one in 8 with Luke and Kylo. Then I would say this one, Rey and Kylo, and then I'm honestly a really big fan of Darth Maul and Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are your top 3?
My top, I'll just like in the order because there's really just main 5 that stand out. I'd say my top one was the one that we just watched. Coming in second would be Anakin Obi-Wan. Coming in third would be Yoda, Palpatine, because that's crazy.
Yeah.
Just because of all the environmental interaction they had. And then after that, I would put only because Darth Maul. It was very dramatic, but it was almost overly dramatic for me, that fight, because that whole movie basically was just over dramaticism for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say 8 and then Darth Maul and then that's
Fair.
what I would do. Those 5 and I don't know.
I'd say Anakin Obi-Wan. It's gotta be number 1 still. And then that one for like the one we just saw, definitely number 2. And then 3, sleeper pick, Grievous Obi-Wan.
Oh, that's a good one too.
Yeah.
That's a lot of environmental interaction.
Actually,
too.
wait, can I change mine real quick? Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mike.
Yoda.
Lightsaber duels.
Because I remember sitting in the theater, and it was like everybody that was watching. There was just this collective.
Yoda and
Because-
Palpatine.
Like Yoda's
Yes,
gonna fight.
yes.
No,
but-
was it Yoda?
Yo- Yeah.
Palpatine or Yoda Dooku?
Yoda Dooku or Yoda Palpatine?
Yeah.
Palpatine
Oh,
was in
Yoda
the
too?
Senate place, right?
Yoda Duke is a
Yoda-
Yeah, it was the
Yoda-
first
Yoda-
time
bottom line.
because
Yoda
you know
Dooku.
you got Yoda on this cane,
Right,
Yes.
right.
and then all of a sudden,
Throws the cloak off and you're
yeah,
like,
And then
like,
he literally just.
yeah, the theater went nuts when that happened, and it was
Yeah.
like,
I watched that in
Oh,
theaters. That
my
was the
goodness.
first Star Wars
That
movie I
was
watched
awesome.
in theaters.
That came out in like 2006.
yeah. I think the
I was
reason why
6 years old.
the one on the Death Star is so awesome is because in the previous ones, it's good and evil, good versus evil. This is good and evil, but it's emotions. They're
Yes.
bringing
Yeah.
emotions in, and emotions are good, evil,
Right.
Yeah.
and so
And
that because it's emotional, it causes the viewer to want to
Yeah.
Yeah.
feel a little bit more with it.
Leading up to that, like they had 4, 5, 6, and it was like it was good and evil. And in 1, 2, and 3, they were like Jedi's don't fight with like Siths fight with their anger and their
Yeah.
emotion and things like that. And so 1, 2, 3 gave us that premise, and then 7 and 8 and 9 set up Rey's and Kylo's emotions. So that way,
Yeah.
when they have that battle, you have all the context of how emotions and force and works together.
And before I respond to that, number 1, Obi-Wan and Anakin. I just absolutely love that. Number 2, probably
8,
yeah, 8, and then number 3 would be
9.
But with that, I love how you also see a breakdown of tradition within 7, 8, and 9 as well. So how all the Jedi and everything within, the first 6 were trained, okay, so you don't fight with your emotion. You don't do this. And then we see a twist where the supposed good character, right, Rey, fights with her emotion, and just kind of that tradition just breaks down, But we see it in the end play out, and that, I just love that breakdown.
My response to that is, I remember like we were talking about like our first theories that we are going to go into. What this is what we're like breaking down. Who said that they would just switch sides? Like Rey would become bad,
I hinted at
Kylo would become good.
Yeah.
In that battle, I thought that was Rey's breaking point.
yeah.
Yeah.
I thought she was done.
Yeah,
And
he's
if you
fighting
noticed
with so
after
much
that,
anger.
she was only casted in gray light or in
Yeah.
gray clothing.
I-
That's when I knew this girl is the balance in the Force. This is
Yeah.
what's happening,
Mhm.
Yep.
and that's when I noticed. I
liked
noticed that.
with the battle too. Another thing like that I can say was cool about it was like, so like with like Anakin and Obi-Wan, that was a good example of like it was just straight up two people fighting with lightsabers. Yoda and Palpatine was like somewhat like that, but there was a lot more like force stuff going on.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And then like even Dooku, Yoda, and all that, there was like anytime Dooku fought, there was always like Force, and then also like Obi-Wan and Anakin were there. You know, there was a lot going on. But this was just straight up two people lightsaber fighting. And then even when like Finn tried to get involved, Rey said no and pushed him away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was
That
just
was
straight
when I
up,
thought it was going to be a
it
breaking
was just
point.
straight up two people with lightsabers. One of you's gonna die, and I was like, I also kind of thought like maybe this is it. Like maybe she does turn bad.
I thought she was going to cut his head off.
Because when
I'm
she
not going to lie. I
killed him,
thought
too,
she was
I
going to
was
cut his
like,
head off.
Okay, can we just talk about the fact that the way that ended was Leia was like, she projected herself or whatever to Kylo Ren
And stopped him.
But when Rey delivered the killing blow on Kylo,
It killed Leia.
yeah, it killed
Yeah.
Leia.
That's when I thought she was going to turn to the dark side, because she was like, "What? I had to do this, and I killed Leia. Leia's my best friend.
'Cause she,
Now
like,
I'm evil." Like,
Originally thought she killed Chewie, so I was like, this is her like
yeah,
Yeah.
realizing it. And then I honestly think she thought she was the one that did it.
Yeah.
Because she
'Cause
thought
her
Leia
face,
was
like,
projecting
as soon as she
herself.
stabbed him, she said, "Leia," and I was like, "Yo, that breaking point."
Since
Yeah.
we're talking about high emotions, I'm going to segue into this. I want your guys', I don't care if it's top 3, whatever, top 3 most emotional points of that movie.
Of this movie
Of this
specifically?
movie. This movie.
Had to be for me. Like I said, it was a small part. They showed this big frame, but my eyes were on Chewie when
Yeah.
Chewie finds out about
When
Leia.
Chewie
Yes.
And
was,
he
Yeah.
is so
Yeah.
emotional. He's
Yeah.
broken
he's a
down.
beastly warrior,
Yes.
and he just like
And he's falling
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you that got
That-
me.
yeah,
And
That
I
was-
think
that
it was
lost his
Poe that
friends.
tried to console him, and he like
It-
pushed
yeah.
him away. Like
Yeah.
he was like, "No."
Here,
Like,
let's start
and he
with
just
you.
started screaming. Like the
And then
area
we'll go
was
around.
quiet. The area was quiet, but Chewie was just screaming. Like
Yeah.
didn't even care.
yeah,
It was
Yeah.
rough.
That's tough.
yeah.
That was his friends. They're all gone.
That was my number one.
Yeah.
By far. I mean, I don't cry in movies. I cried in game, but like, don't cry in movies. I honestly got choked up at that. My second would probably be Poe talking to Leia. And then I don't know what my third would be, because like I think
You have
compared
two,
to
you have two.
compared to those two,
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
when,
for
I got
me-
one more.
When Leia
Yeah,
was
one more.
covered up and everybody else was surrounded, that was kind of like their farewell.
Carrie
scene.
Fisher.
Yeah.
too.
'Cause it was one of those. Okay, this was filmed after she died. 'Cause,
Yeah.
you know, some of the footage
Yeah.
they used
Yeah.
that wasn't CGI. It was previous, and so I think we could feel a little bit difference in the acting, the stuff that was done and taped after
Yeah.
she died
Yeah.
than before. And that scene, I think, was one of those. The gravity of it was, she's gone.
I
Yep.
feel like this might be your number 3 since it was all happening at the same time. So I'll just mention it. When Kylo was standing there and it said, "Hey kid," and he turned around
Yes.
and it's Han Solo.
yeah,
That
Oh,
brought the
that
guys
that
down.
was my
Oh,
number
oh
three.
my
I'll
gosh.
get there. I'll get there.
Oh my gosh.
That
Yeah.
got me.
Hit me with your
Yeah.
top 3.
Well, I've already said 2, and then I would
Oh.
include Han.
I don't know.
Okay.
I will go.
I feel like the 3PO thing, I like wanted to be emotional.
Yeah.
But it was just
Yeah.
it was kind of rushed.
It
It
was
was
rushed.
obvious.
Yeah.
If
Like,
it
as
wasn't
soon as-
rushed, I would have teared.
That was another thing that I feel like was just kind of predictable. It was like as soon as he said, "Well, I can't read it," the only way that you could get it off me is if you memory wiped me. I was like, okay, so they're gonna
They're gonna
memory wipe
memory-
me like
yeah.
20 minutes from now.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to be emotional there, but they really did just like, boom, boom, done. Other than that, I can't. think of
Or
anything
okay,
emotional.
he can't say it,
Oh,
but he can
I'll say
point the direction.
those were probably like higher, but whenever right before like the army of every universe ever came or whatever, when
was
Poe
like-
was just sitting there going, "We
Sorry.
lost,"
Yeah.
like I don't know what to do. That kind of got me too. When he would like, they were like, "What do we do, General Poe? Like you're our leader," and he was just like, "I guess we just lose. I'm sorry, I don't know."
Yeah.
That was kind of rough.
This is my top 5. I got 5.
Oh man.
Number 1 is because I was literally sobbing, like nose running. I was done. When Han showed up,
Yeah.
I was done. I as soon as he said, "Hey kid," I was just like,
Yeah.
"Here we go, boys."
Yeah.
And then after that would be Poe and Leia, for sure. I would put number 3 actually. This has not like been mentioned, but if you guys noticed me freak out like crazy when that happened was when Chewie got a medal. In
Oh
the
my God.
original,
Yeah.
the 4th movie,
Yeah.
Chewie did not get a medal.
Yeah.
No, he never got a medal. He never got thanked.
Yep.
But that was did she give him the medal before he like was that after he like broke down, or was it before he broke down?
That was like
Was
the end of the
after.
movie. That was like the very end of the movie.
Oh yeah. But that just right there, I was like, that was like not like sad. That was like
Again,
happiness.
another little bow tie on the Star Wars
Yeah.
series.
4. I've been saying it since we started talking about like first predictions. When Ray was looking out at the sunsets, I was like, now that's Star Wars, baby.
Yeah.
That's how Star Wars should be. And then finally, I'm gonna have to say, when they are fighting on the when Finn stays on the ship, I thought Finn was gone.
Yeah.
I thought he was done.
Think too,
Yeah.
like, maybe they were gonna try.
I was
character.
gonna get so mad because Finn has been like he's in my top 3 favorite characters.
Really?
Yeah, because I just love his backstory and like
He has grown
yeah.
most of any character besides
Exactly.
Luke.
First movie, that's when I was like drawn in. This is Finn. Second movie, I hated Finn. Like
Yeah.
he went
Second
away.
movie,
This
Finn's
movie,
stunk.
I was like,
Well,
Finn is amazing.
I didn't like Finn when he was introduced.
Yeah,
Because I was like, oh, I don't like stormtroopers.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
And they're making me like this stormtrooper.
yeah.
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 I'd say, and then on top
I've
of that,
honestly never
just,
been a big fan of Finn.
oh,
Say that
I was gonna
15
say Finn.
times after midnight.
Fan of Finn?
just Finn. Like I don't know. It's just I don't know.
Yeah.
Something about it. And yeah, to go back to what I was saying, best space battle is not when all the ships showed up. It was when they were charging on that starship. That was just insane when all the horse thing came. But anyway, you can talk about your emotional
Alright.
things.
So I'm just gonna say my 4. My first 3 have been said already, but my 4th one hasn't. My number 1 is when Han shows up. My number 2 is when Poe's talking to Leia, and my number 3 is Chewie. But my number 4, and like I might have to explain myself on this, is when like everyone like showed up, right? Because like before that, Poe was like,
We lost
no, not before that, but it was like Poe was like, the Empire
as friends.
makes every he was like
Oh,
the Empire
yeah.
makes everyone think that they're alone
Yeah.
when we're not. Like that's
Yeah,
their
'cause
greatest
that's what
power,
Leia said.
right? And then like everyone showed up right then and there,
On your left.
and then
That's exactly what that reminded me of.
and
Yeah.
then at that exact same time, well, it was right before that when. Was it right before that or right after that? I don't know, but it was the point when Rey was fending off Palpatine, and then all of the past Jedi's start like he's
Yeah.
like,
Oh.
I have all the Sith in me,
Oh.
and then
Yeah.
Rey all the Jedi,
I am all the Jedi.
and like all the Jedi's are like, I'm with you, and like
They had said that while she was on the ground.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that was like.
That was dope.
That was so emotional because like the entire movie everyone was like, you know, we have people out there, they just need to know that they're not alone, and then that's finally when all the Jedi
that
came
thread
back.
was all
Yeah.
through it.
Yeah.
All
Tight.
through it from the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
Because he even said like when Palpatine was talking to his like guy or whatever, like Pride,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
he said the girl will come and her friends will follow. I was like, but like he knows, like they travel in packs.
Also,
That was dope.
When Palpatine just full sends his
yeah.
lightning.
At that point, I was like, I'm confused. I was like,
Like-
this man is a deity in
Yeah.
the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
I mean, he was. I mean,
Yeah.
after he absorbed
All
the
the
two
Sith.
most powerful people,
And then, yeah.
I'd say arguably that have graced the Star Wars universe,
Yeah,
he absorbed
Easily.
all of them.
easily.
Like
Yeah.
I was like,
It's like weird to
how
say
could he
that.
not do that?
It's like weird to say that because like
Looking back,
Mace Windu and like Obi-Wan, like you're like, bro, those are so powerful. But like
those
in
two.
this movie, they painted them as they were without a doubt
Gods.
the most
Oh,
powerful.
yeah.
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 So-
So I'll say I'm really glad that like in terms of like how we said earlier, like oh they tied in everything with the movie or whatever, like all the past movies. It's really good that they full sent and got like the voice actors from the
Yeah.
past chapter. Because if it had just been like in that moment, if it had just been like Luke again and just Luke or like
And
just
Leia.
Luke and Obi-Wan even,
Yeah.
I'd just be like I was like it's
And
cool. but,
didn't
like,
they started off with Luke's voice, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
they
then I was
also
like,
ended it with it.
and they ended it with Luke.
Yeah.
But then,
And,
like,
like-
I was listening.
Yeah, you
I
were
heard
listening.
Liam Neeson. I heard Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
definitely heard Qui. I was like,
Yes,
I was like,
Qui-Gon,
because
I
like
was
Qui-Gon
And
is
then,
like
while you guys were
my,
flipping out,
like-
you're like, that was Qui-Gon. I heard Samuel L.
and then
Jackson.
Samuel
and I
L.
was
Yes,
like,
I know.
Yes!
Same.
yeah.
You
I
know
was
what I'm
like,
saying,
dude, Ahsoka.
yeah, and you said Ahsoka, and I was like, bruh.
Then Rebels
Like,
guy.
Ahsoka
I don't-
in there?
That
Ahsoka was.
yeah.
Ahsoka was in
And
there.
the guy from Rebels too.
Yeah.
They
I
had a
haven't seen
couple other
Rebels.
random named Jedi's in the
Much
credits that like
Yeah.
I know
Kiadi
existed,
Mundi
but like
came.
Kiadi
Ayla
Mundi, yeah.
Secura was there.
that's what I said too. I thought
They're
they
just
were
saying
gonna try
Ray,
and, like,
Ray, Ray.
like be like in spirit again, like kind of how Luke
That
was.
would've been so cool.
That would have been cool.
Yeah,
'Cause that's
oh.
what I was thinking with like the Knights of Ren. Whenever she was like, "You're all alone" or something like that, I thought they were about to be like, "What's up? We're here too." But either way, like I somewhat said that. I knew they were gonna try and tie that in with like all the Jedi like, coming back. And it was cool they used their voices there again.
so dope.
Had they like just, I'm picturing a world where like for some reason the director was like, like we don't need to get all those people. Just get Luke and maybe like Obi-Wan, Leia, and just call it a day. That moment would not have had the power it did. Like hearing
heck no.
all of their voices, it was like that was cool.
Oh,
I'd say honorable mention for emotion as well. This is more like happy emotion because this was also me ugly crying. It was an ugly happy cry though. Is when the three of them at the very end when they're all hugging and they're all just breaking down. I was like, wow.
Yeah, because that's like because she was like covered in blood too, and like
yeah.
That
they
was
did kinda-
and you, just the emotion. Those three actors.
What was Finn gonna tell Rey?
What was he?
oh.
Yeah.
I feel like Finn knew.
We need another
Finn
movie.
knew everything. Or maybe he was going to tell her that he is Force sensitive.
Maybe that's all it was. Maybe he was gonna.
because
say
he
something about
he
the
eventually
Force.
told Poe. He's like, yeah, I know, and Leia also knows
Oh,
Yeah.
that's probably what it was then.
Yep.
Yeah. Because that's right.
that Xana, I think was her name or something like that. Sana, I think it was Sana, the black girl.
Mm.
That when she was like, "Where are you from?" He was like, "This place." He's like, "Where are you from?" That's his daughter, bro.
That's what
They
I was
took her
thinking.
away when she was little.
Yeah.
I definitely thought that too, and he said, "Let's find out," and I was like,
I
was like, is
I
that
wish
what
they
they're
would have
doing?
solved it.
I looked at Carson and said, "Spin-off series?" Like,
Honestly,
Yeah.
it could happen.
yeah, a Lando spin-off.
I'd be
I've
so
been wanting
down.
it.
Honestly,
Oh, I'd be so
I
down.
would, I would honestly see Donald
Hey, it is
Glover.
1 a.m.
Oh my gosh.
Donald Glover
I'm
Lando.
not done.
Say, can we give like final thoughts?
I
can't.
loved.
I am glad Jar Jar Binks wasn't with all the Siths. That was nice.
That's
I'm
okay.
gonna say I low key would have been hyped for that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
but
yeah.
listen, that
That'd be
scene
funny.
where like Palpatine was like, do the ritual, complete, kill me
Yeah.
or whatever, and the
yeah.
entire audience was, "Who?"
When
Like,
she first walked in, like, because before
Oh my
Palpatine even was
gosh.
there, she heard the chanting, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool!" Like, there's chanting, and then she turned around, and there was just like
it was.
army.
everywhere.
I was like,
That was cool.
I was
I
really
was-
hoping they all were just about
I
to
had
go,
goosebumps.
and then
Like,
red
yeah.
lightsabers just
I
went
also
everywhere in the
thought that.
crowd.
That was sick.
I was
I
like,
low-key-
are these the new Sith? This is
Yeah.
amazing.
Have you been reading the Star Wars comics?
Mm-mm.
Because
I just
I
know
need to
bits
go
and
find
pieces from
them,
watching.
and I'm going to read them all.
Yeah.
I just watch all of the new media rock stars breakdown. If you guys really want to like dive deep into Star Wars, they just did leading up to this movie. They broke down every single movie, and like in like 20, 30-minute long videos where they watch the whole thing and they like say, "Oh, missable details, Easter egg here," and it really like that's how I've been like being able to like know so much, and that's how I predicted the stuff that I predicted because I was like, this is what it's leading up to. This is what it's leading up to. So if you really want to like dive into Star Wars, then you got to watch those videos.
So, besides the healing, is there anything else from the Mandalorian?
I would say Force teleport still, just because like, even though they didn't use it with people, I mean they were using it with objects, and also I think when Yoda was in that guy's hands and he fell and just suddenly wasn't there and was behind a box, and then also when the droid was hunting him and he just kept disappearing and reappearing, I think maybe that's like a small like, it's probably the same type of deal. If I can take a lightsaber, put it behind my head, and now it's over there, I'd imagine that you could take a person and do the same. Because also, you know, when they were like fighting with the lightsaber, all that, like, and they were essentially in the same room fighting, but they weren't
Yeah,
really.
that's what I was getting.
All that kind of stuff connects, I think.
Because like in that case, it wasn't just objects. Like they were,
Yeah.
in a sense, teleporting or whatever.
Well, they did.
Oh my
They
God.
did the necklace. The
Yeah.
necklace
That's what-
teleport.
Necklace was
The
huge. That was
podium
kinda
with
cool.
the-
Yeah. Well, and then the
I'd be down to
lightsaber too.
rewatch
That-
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when she smashed the
Podium.
thing and like he saw that.
Yeah.
And that shows too low key how like they were both getting stronger. Because in 8, whenever they first started connecting, he asked like immediately. He said, "Where are you?" And she was like, "You're dumb" or something like that. But then he goes, "Can you see my surroundings?
I can't see
see yours." That was the first thing he said. Like when they first had that moment. In this movie,
And
they're
they
literally
grew.
fighting
Yeah.
through the Force. Like,
And not only that, like
That was
at the
awesome.
end of it, like when he was in her chamber, when she was in his chambers, like, and he's like, "Where are you? You're in my chambers."
Yeah.
Like,
he still couldn't
they-
see her, but like he figured it out based
mask.
off the objects.
yeah.
Yeah, the mask.
So like
Yeah.
that power was growing, man.
and if
Most
you,
honorable death in Star Wars.
I was looking for it
Kylo?
Ben.
among the rubble of that podium. the mask wasn't there.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
because it
Yeah.
showed up.
Yeah,
One last.
I was just looking for that
Yeah.
small detail because
Yeah.
like if they would have put that there, that kind of would have made me a little bit upset. But
Yeah. One last thought one last like discussion topic, then we can go. I want us, based on that movie, because I feel like that movie just flipped a lot of things that we thought about Star Wars up on its head, like our favorites. I want to know everyone's top 3 favorite Star Wars characters of all time, updated since this movie now.
characters,
Characters of all time.
In order.
In order.
I
1,
want
2,
to
3.
I want to say, I'm just gonna. I feel like we touched on this, but like, I feel like 3PO for me honestly moved down in this movie.
That's true. I
I
feel
don't know.
Mhm.
It was weird.
It's not even his fault. Like the character it's just
Yeah.
the way they wrote it.
They
It was
yeah.
badly written.
Like
yeah,
from the time that they left to all the time they spent on that sand planet, it was like he was just awkwardly there, and they
yeah.
like and like
it's
and then
because
they
he
were
had
building,
to be there.
and then they were building up like he kept saying like, "Oh, don't worry, I'm fine," and then he was like, "Don't worry, I made it," and like they were leaving him behind and stuff, and I was like, "Are they trying to make us feel bad for him or something?" I got confused.
One thing that I liked, but it didn't fit. I was so glad to see the Ewoks.
Yeah.
That
That was awesome. But if
It
they're
didn't
so
fit.
far off,
Yeah. It didn't
then
fit.
the Ewoks wouldn't see it.
But it
I
was
was
nice.
confused
To, it
on
was,
that.
I just
How
liked
did-
to see
what
it.
Well,
did
they said
Nice.
people were revolting everywhere. Like people
Yeah.
were standing up. So maybe the First Order was on Endor again, and then like maybe
Do
they.
you think they had already sent out ships?
They
maybe.
might have.
Maybe.
Honestly.
Then why were the only 2 they showed us Tatooine and Endor? Because that was Tatooine, right? Where the other one crashed, and it was like there was already one there crashed.
Wasn't there 2 crack? Yeah.
I think it was just the base floor of the Sith planet.
No, they're talking about the sand. You know what I'm talking about? So like they showed one crash.
Was
Oh,
that
yeah.
Tatooine or
Yeah.
was that the planet that Rey?
Jakku?
Jakku?
I don't know.
Jakku.
Oh, they
That
blew
was-
up
That was
Jakku.
Jakku.
They blew up Jakku
They
with
did.
Starkiller
So-
Base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were randomly just like, all right, so like since we've been
Well,
trying to
maybe
bone
it
everything
was-
else, here's Endor and here's Tatooine.
One that crashed and like just then, and then another one just crashed right behind it.
Or maybe it was the place that they went to for the
There's
for the
100%
dagger.
like-
it could have been the place they went to for the dagger. That could have crashed on.
Nah.
No.
In like episode 4, I think it is. There is a crashed like thing on Tatooine. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, there is.
I 100% when that frame popped up, I recognized that frame. Like that's famous, like Star Wars, like a
Yeah.
crashed thing.
Like I remember that from the Star Wars Battlefront
I don't-
games.
I don't remember that, but the reason is because like isn't the only time in 4 when they're on Tatooine is at the very beginning.
Yeah, and you see it in the beginning shots.
I don't think
in
so.
the
'cause
background.
I think it's just Luke, and then the droids. You don't see it anywhere. The droids go find Luke. Then Luke goes to Obi-Wan, and then
Dude, they're on Tatooine for like 50 minutes. That movie.
Not really. They're
Yeah,
on
they
Tatooine
are.
for like 20, 30 minutes.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
All of Luke's beginning story before the droids even get there. Then the droids. No, yeah. Then the droids show up. Then Then Luke goes finds Ben. Well, no. Then he goes to the Sand People with the droids. Then Ben shows up. Then they go to the town. Then they go to Obi-Wan's home. Then they go back to the town. Then they go to find Han Solo.
No, they
and
don't
then
go
they
to
leave.
the town.
Yeah, they do.
I'm trying to look it up.
They don't go to the
Yes,
town.
they do.
No, because
These
he's
are all
like,
the droids you're looking for.
yeah, that's
It's in the
that's
town.
when they're going. Yeah, but they don't go back after that. They go to the town once, and that's when they get on the Falcon and leave. They don't go to the town and go back because the entire plot line of it was, Uncle Owen was like, "No, you can't go to Tosche Station and pick up power converters. You got to stay here and mess with the droids." So he stayed there over the night. Then R2 ran away that morning. They found R2, then Kenobi found him, and then Kenobi took Luke and was like,
They went to Kenobi's house.
they went. Well, yeah, they went back with Ben, and then after Ben, they're like, "Oh no, they're about to go kill your Uncle Owen." So they went to that house where they're like, "No, they're dead. We have to go." So then from there, they went straight on. So like the only shots of Tatooine that we see, I'm 90% sure that is not on Tatooine.
It's
I
on
think it is
Tatooine.
Jakku.
I mean, it's
I
on
can't
Jakku
find, like-
too.
Clear answers. There might be on both from what I'm reading. There's like no clear answer.
But yeah,
But anyway, top 3.
top 3 favorite characters.
See if it's changed. Carson?
Mine haven't really changed a lot. My still top 2. It switches between Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. I love them so much. My number 3. I don't know. I'm torn between Mace Windu and Kylo Ren. I'm torn between those
Is
two.
Kylo above Rey for you?
100%.
Really?
Yep.
I'd say Rey.
Ben's arc, man, was better than the Rey's arc.
I think mine stayed the same, except like I don't know. I don't think I ever really thought about who my third favorite character was.
Yeah.
I was always just like Grievous and Obi-Wan was always my thing.
Yeah.
But now I feel like Rey's my 3.
I mean, I have a new favorite for sure, and like
New favorite.
new favorite,
Wow.
and it's just because of the sheer power that they showed in this movie.
Palpatine.
And it, honestly, Palpatine, the
Yeah.
sheer power he showed was so dope. And that scene where he just shot the lightning straight up and literally took out everything,
So-
I'm like, you are a deity. And like the way he
Have-
was like being held up by that robotic arm
Yeah.
thing and had literally an army of like cult worshippers around him. That
I
was
have
just
another
so
topic
sick.
based on that.
Yeah.
What is his story? Because like in 4, 5, and 6, or not 4 months. Like I guess 4, 5, and 6. Like he did kind of the same thing. He was just like a dude on a chair who talked to everybody else. But then all of a sudden in 7, 8, 9, you're telling me that he's just like a freaking deity.
Well, in
How did he
one,
get more power? Like just clarify that.
I
for
think
me.
it's in 3, whenever he's talking to Anakin, he's talking about how Plagueis had an apprentice. Was that in 2? Okay. Either way, Plagueis had an apprentice. I think he was hinting at him being Plagueis' apprentice.
Mhm.
So is that what you were asking? Like, where did he come from? Like,
No, I'm just
where
saying
did
like
you go? Where did you come
I
from,
feel
Cotton
like
Eye Joe?
this movie
Like,
made him like
Way more
literally
powerful.
so powerful.
yeah.
Yeah,
Why
I
didn't
think-
he show us that power in episode 6?
I think because he wasn't that powerful in episode
That's what I'm
6.
saying.
he's had a lot
And then
of time.
after
right?
he came down, like after he did that and he, you know, had his near-death experience, or maybe he died and then brought himself back to life right before the second Death Star exploded, and then he, you know, flew off to that Sith planet or whatever, and like you could tell, like from the machine, like he was old, he was weak, he was barely being held up, and with that, and honestly, he wasn't even that powerful. He was like, Rey, you got to kill me,
True.
and then Rey was like,
True.
no, and so he sucked the power out of Rey and
Yeah,
Kylo,
I guess,
and
like,
then like immediately
He
was
did.
like,
He did say though, and which was really cool, but like semi-confusing, but still really cool regardless. The very first scene when he said, "I am every voice you've," and like he started switching his voice. That was freaking sick. But it's like, did he have that power the whole time? Like maybe he did. Like maybe he really.
And then
has
he
been
saw
just pulling
Snoke's
strings
bodies.
forever.
yeah, there are
Yeah.
two
Dang.
Snoke
They were like
bodies.
cloning Snokes.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That
That,
was
was
cool.
I was like,
So now it's
whoa.
like, does that tell us more about Snoke's origin?
I
Did
guess.
he literally just make a
Yeah.
dude
Yep.
and then make him?
That's why he's so deformed. Because he's just made.
Okay, but so he's my new favorite.
Okay.
Just I love Palpatine. Then
Respectable.
Rey
I guess
Just
they did give
because
us some
Rey
Snoke backstory
is
there.
also freaking insane now, and especially the
He
scene at
thinks
the end
she's
with the yellow lightsaber.
Dude,
Also,
Daisy
is
Ridley
though.
is fine.
and then number 3. I mean, I don't want to sound basic, but Yoda.
Yeah.
Just because Yoda.
Respectable.
Yoda.
Obi-Wan,
All
not
right.
in your top 3.
Hey,
Mine?
Respectable.
go ahead.
Mine is top 1 is Ben Solo.
Mm.
Not Kylo Ren. Ben Solo.
Okay.
Kylo after he was not a jerk anymore. And then I'd say Han Solo. And then I'd say Finn.
I'll change
Wow.
mine based on what he just said.
Wow.
I'll say Obi-Wan Grievous and then Rey Skywalker.
Old
Rey
guy.
Skywalker.
Old guy's got to be Vader.
Okay.
Vader. Well,
Honestly-
that's fact.
Okay.
Honestly, yeah.
He's
Vader.
honorable mention for me.
Yoda.
Uh-huh.
Yoda is 2, and third before this movie I would have said C-3PO
Mhm.
because I'm always like
Yeah.
That was, that was Matt's favorite
I
before
didn't
this
like-
movie.
Yeah. That was my
particularly
favorite.
everything that went on. So 3, maybe R2.
Okay.
See, that
That was
actually
that's
shows
respectable.
a generation change.
Yeah.
Because those are the originals. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yep.
and
Yeah.
but we are talking like this is what we grew up in. So that's
Yeah.
why these are
Sure,
our
sure.
favorites.
My two
Except
favorite
me.
characters.
Except me.
Yeah, my 2 favorite characters are from the prequels, and then this one.
Mine are
Where's
from
Grievous
originals.
on your list? Number 1 or 2?
Qui-Gon?
Obi-Wan? Yeah,
Obi-Wan?
no. Obi-Wan.
Not really.
I like
You
I
like Ben.
I
You like Ben.
prequel
Yeah.
Obi-Wan.
Ben was BS. Nah, Ben was
So there's one scene.
Ben Kenobi now.
There's one scene in 4 that if it didn't happen, nothing else would have happened, and that was when C-3PO and R2-D2 are thereby, and Luke, and they pick droids. And
This is
they
a
don't
bad
pick.
droid.
They don't pick R2. If that
Yeah.
bad droid hadn't of,
Yeah, that's true.
none of this would have happened.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also,
I was
if like Leia would have just got sniped by Darth Vader when he got on the ship,
Yeah.
then I
Yeah.
guess it
When
wouldn't
you
happen
said
either.
when you said R2 is like one of your favorites, that was kind of a cool moment when C-3PO was like, R2 saying he's getting a transmission from Luke. What?
That
And I
was
was
cool.
like, bro,
Yeah.
R2 was pretty clutch.
Leia flying Luke's X-wing. I mean, not Leia. Rey
Right.
flying Luke's X.
You not a fan?
Wow.
There was
No,
definitely
it was
some-
amazing.
Oh, I was
It
going
was
to
so
say,
cool.
dude,
That
that's
was amazing.
amazing.
I
So
feel like there
cool.
was so much like just stuff that you
Yes.
could say about, like just Rey is now in Luke's X-wing. It was like
Yeah.
that was like a full circle moment.
Yeah.
It was solid.
Yeah.
I loved it.
It
I
would've
like
been-
how it's Rise of the Skywalker. That makes
Mhm.
sense now.
It would have been nice to hear the voice of Vader talking to Kylo.
We heard Hayden Christensen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we heard Vader's voice like from the when Snoke was like, or not Snoke, Palpatine was like, I'm every voice
Yeah.
or whatever. That was wild. Like when he even used Vader's, that was cool.
Yeah, I was not a fan when they included Anakin in that little Ray. I was like, no, Hayden Christensen, leave. You're awful. You're like one of the
Well,
worst
but like
actors on
the
planet.
point of that though was like because
Should've
at the
done-
end
should've
of
done
6,
Raider. I
at
mean,
the
Vader.
end of 6, Vader turned back into Anakin
Yeah.
right before he
The
died.
same
I know
way
they should have.
being-
Done, it should have been. I wish they would have. He died, of course, but I wish they would have gotten the unmasked Vader voice to say it instead of Hayden Christensen, like old Vader.
Fair.
Yeah.
It would have been nice.
But then again, so are you saying that you wish that they would have had the unmasked Vader as the ghost at the end of 6? Because
That's who it
when-
was at the end of 6.
No, he was
No,
young, no, he was
they
Anakin.
They
Yeah.
they edited it back
It
in.
was
after they made the
originally.
prequels.
It was originally though
I
in the
don't think he was ever
prequels.
there.
Yes, it was. Yes, it
I'm
was.
talking. Oh wait, I'm talking about like in 4, 5, and 6, right? That we're
Yeah.
talking about
6.
So in 6.
At the end of 6, it was originally.
Really?
I'll show you.
I never even knew that. I mean, like I believe you if that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
I always just thought it was just Obi-Wan. and
Yeah, he
Yoda.
has hair and
Yeah.
everything.
Dang.
But I'm talking about whenever like the force project. It's not in 6, but whenever they're the force projections, isn't there one with like Anakin?
Yeah, that's
And-
what they
yeah.
did in the
6.
prequels.
Yeah.
Wait, are you
George
talking-
Lucas was not
They did
happy
one in the
about that.
prequels?
I mean, yeah. I'm sorry. At the end of 6, I'm
That's
sorry.
what we're talking about. Yeah, we're all talking about the end of 6.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
But this is what it was.
I want to see.
I've never seen that version just because I'm
That was
young, I
original.
guess.
I want to see. Yeah, I've never seen that.
That is new.
Yeah, that's the one I've always
Yeah.
seen.
They put
Well,
it
that's
in-
because
That was the pre-edits.
did you watch the making of Star Wars movies? The one that's on the documentary about it. Whenever like George Lucas, whenever he made Pixar and all that stuff, and finally had those abilities, he went back and re-edited
And
all the Star
Yeah.
Wars movies.
Yeah.
I think
And
after
ruined 'em.
after the trilogy, after the prequels, they did that again.
They did because everyone was
Yeah.
angry about it.
Yeah.
It's like Hayden Christensen. No, he was awful. He was bad when he died.
Yeah.
Like when Anakin died, he was bad.
You know, but still, I mean, it is what it is. But like,
Anakin's the worst
I'm
character in the
happy
Star
with
Wars
it.
universe for me.
Really?
Honestly,
No,
this
Jar Jar,
movie
dude. Come on.
was a fantastic way to
Anakin's
tie
piece
a
of
bow
crap.
on
Anakin was
everything.
dope. I
I
love
loved
Anakin's
Anakin.
story.
I loved
Acting
Anakin.
was just awful.
Loved Anakin.
There still are a few questions.
What did Finn want to say to Ray?
I think we clarified.
We
that.
clarified that.
Snoke.
Yeah. Snoke, I think, was just a clone.
What is lightsaber X?
Yep.
Yeah.
What is that? What do you mean?
The
Lightsaber
lightsaber that we
X.
don't know where it came from.
Oh yeah.
Is Finn force sensitive?
Yeah.
That's a big
I
question.
think everyone's.
I think
force
that's
sensitive.
answered. Yeah, I think
Or
everyone.
like I
No,
think what you
I
said.
don't
Like
think
I think
everyone
like
is.
I don't think everyone is, but I think a lot of people are.
because
like,
it's like
what he was.
let's
But can
say
he
like
control the force?
Because
is
he
what
was
I
saying
wanna
like what Matt was saying was like balance, right? If like 50 jillion Jedi died with Order 66, where's that force gonna go? Like there's
Yeah.
gonna be more people.
Like,
know.
let's say
Midichlorians will go into the air.
Yeah.
well yeah.
People will breathe
Honestly,
in the
for
For
midichlorians.
example,
is, yeah.
but like as stupid as that is, it's like imagine like there's 50 chosen people, and then all 50 of or 49 of them die.
Yeah.
Then like, but like there always has to be 50 chosen people. Like, new people are gonna pop up
It's like
randomly.
predestination,
that are
but for
chosen.
the midichlorians.
Yeah, but like
Okay,
Take that
we
where
didn't
you-
even go there, and we don't have to go there tonight. It's a big one. We could talk about the religious themes
oh
Yeah.
all
that would
throughout
be
this.
oh
Yeah.
It's all
It wasn't
around
planned. It like George Lucas like originally did not plan it for that
Yeah.
to happen. Like they talked about in the documentary, but it just happened somehow.
Yeah.
I don't understand how. Because like with
yes,
I definitely
with
was thinking,
Narnia,
like,
it's meant.
I thought
but
they were
with
gonna try
this,
like
it's not.
not only just a religious thing, but almost like a just like overall moral thing. I definitely thought they were trying to pull some like anybody can come back from anything, like a mental health thing almost. Like Kylo Ren
That's
literally was
what they
someone
were
who
going
killed
for
so many
sure.
people, and he still came back. Like Rey had every temptation facing her. She didn't think she could do it, but she did. It's like you
Yeah.
can too.
The biggest symbol I've ever seen, like the biggest Star Wars religious symbol I've ever seen, was when they were in that Pisana. Is that what it was? It called where they were like, where that's where the like Finn's girlfriend or Poe's girlfriend was. Was that Pisana? The one they blew up.
His planet was called
Kajimi.
Kajimi, yeah.
When they were on Kajimi and they were taking all the children, I was like, hey, this reminds me of the Bible a little bit. That's like the most like biggest connection I've
When
made.
you just, I've never even thought about it like this, but when you said religious, the first thing I thought of was strike me down and I'll become more powerful. And then he just becomes a spirit, like a sins like that. It's like, go ahead and kill me. I'll come back in 3 days.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just.
Alright, it's 1 a.m.
All right.
Solid podcast, solid movie.
Dang. All right, I'm gonna stop streaming. Ciao.